Hi, you guys. Welcome back to Meaningful Motivations with Tracy Erickson. And of course, if you are new to this channel, welcome. My name is Tracy Erickson, and in this video, I want to discuss spiritual congestion and the causes, the symptoms, and the cures. So stay tuned. It is my belief that as human beings, while we have a physical body here in the material world, we are also spirit, and we have a soul that lives beyond this physical dimension that we live in the current present moment. As humans, we are made with this intricate design that is connecting your mind and body with your spirit. And with the mind, body, spirit connection, sometimes we can actually hinder ourselves along our path because of our own thoughts, attitudes, and behaviors. So sometimes when we realize that we're having symptoms in our physical reality, that those symptoms have an underlying cause. And that underlying cause is something that began in the mind of its creator. In this video, I want to discuss the experience of spiritual congestion. And spiritual congestion is a term that is used to describe a feeling of being blocked or really just being somehow hindered along your spiritual journey. And this can actually show up because of different reasons, but it also can show up with different types of symptoms. So I want to go over the causes, the symptoms, and the cure for spiritual congestion, or basically a disconnect from your spirit, or that feeling of being disconnected from God or your source. Some common causes for spiritual congestion include things like too much focus on worldly concerns. So if you're too focused on the material world, like your material possessions or your relationships, your career, and your focus is solely on those material things, then that certainly can overshadow your connection with God. Now, you can also be experiencing this congestion, spiritually speaking, because you've been lacking discipline in spiritual practice. So if you have not been praying, if you've not been reading your scriptures, if you've not been meditating, or somehow taking time out of each day to focus on your spirit, to focus on God, then that would also lead to this spiritual congestion. If we let our mistakes fester within us and we don't go seeking forgiveness for those mistakes, that can also lead to spiritual congestion and a blockage from moving forward in your spiritual journey. If you've been experiencing this spiritual congestion, then it could manifest as certain signs and symptoms in your life to let you know that something's wrong or something is not aligned properly. People who are experiencing spiritual congestion could possibly feel this disconnection from God. So when they think of their relationship with God, there's a sense of being distant or even a sense of emptiness. People who experience this spiritual congestion could also have a lack of motivation. So they'll find it very difficult to have any energy or even the desire to engage in these spiritual activities. People who experience the spiritual congestion also question their beliefs. They have doubts and uncertainties about their faith or the meaning of life in general. And people who experience spiritual congestion can also feel anger, hopelessness, or anxiety. And if you've been experiencing these emotions often, this could be a sign of spiritual distress in the form of some type of spiritual congestion. If you've been experiencing this spiritual congestion or any of the symptoms that we've discussed in this video, that's okay, because you can help yourself to clear up the spiritual congestion. In order to clear up the spiritual congestion, you have to start a spiritual discipline. So each and every day, you should set aside some time to have a regular prayer session, to do some scripture reading, or to have a daily meditation. You basically need to set aside time for yourself each and every day to create this discipline. You should also seek God's guidance so you can pray for wisdom and direction on your spiritual journey. Try to stay away from praying for physical things. You should be praying for wisdom and spiritual guidance, not for physical things. And another way to clear up this congestion would be to focus more on God. So rather than focusing on the material world so much at all, you should prioritize the spiritual matters over your worldly concerns. Another great way to clear up the congestion would be to just confess and seek forgiveness for any of the mistakes or sins that you've done in the past, so that you can finally let go of the burden of guilt and let yourself be free from that lower vibration. And of course, another great way to get over this spiritual congestion would be to seek a like-minded community so that you can connect with other people who can support you and help you along and encourage you in creating this new connection with God. Creating a connection with God is just like creating any other connection with any other person in the world. So similar to when you start a friendship, it might feel a little awkward and uncomfortable at first. But the more that you make it a point to get together, to get to know each other, and to become comfortable with each other, then all of that just kind of falls into place. And you begin to feel more comfortable in your spiritual pursuits. And you begin to learn the language that your friend likes to speak to you. And the more that you can understand each other, the better the communication can be. So similar to actual friendships, your connection with your source is something that has to be built over time. You don't sit down and pray once or sit down and have one 15-minute meditation session and expect all of the answers that you want to just come through. So you have to actually create a discipline over time to really create that inner relationship with God. Well, that about wraps it up for this video. So if you like this video, be sure to click that like button. And if you're a viewer but not yet a subscriber, I would love for you to click subscribe down below. And once you have subscribed, you can turn on that notifications bell if you would like to be notified each and every time I upload a new video. Thank you guys so much for watching and spending your time with me. I love you. And I'll see you next time. Bye.